Well, I am excited, y'all. I am here with one of my girlfriends, Sister Samara. Hey.
Hi.
We're just going to talk a little bit about Mega Women in the upcoming conference, which will be on May the 1st right here in Austin, Texas, or you can attend virtually. But before we go on to that, Sister Samara, how about you just tell the people what you do?
I'm an attorney, and I've been doing it for a while now. But currently, I practice doing insurance law, and I've done criminal law, both prosecution and criminal defense, and I've done family law as well. But right now, I'm doing insurance law.
Excellent. See, Samara, you like somebody like people need to know. Like, looky here. So you had the opportunity to be a part of Mega Women when we did it back in 2019.
Yes.
So what I want you to share was like something that really resonated with you from the conference in 2019 and that has you in expectancy for the conference that's coming up.
That stuck with me from the conference is when Dr. Marina was talking about that women, as women, we should collaborate and not compete.
Yes.
And you know, and that is so true, because I think we all need to understand that, you know, what's for me is for me and what's for you is for you.
Right.
And our giftings are so different that even if we're doing the same thing, theoretically doing the same thing, we're not doing the same thing.
Yes.
Because we all have our own flavor and our own twist and our own style on doing things. And it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay. We can collaborate and we can share ideas without thinking we're going to lose out on something.
You know, and that's so amazing, because when we think about it, even just from a kingdom standpoint, it's the markets are so large. No matter what individuals are doing, it's so many niches, right? It's so many things that we can help advance the kingdom of God when we share with one another. And like you said, we're not taking away anything, because what God has for us, it is for us, and no one can take that from us. So y'all, nobody. Look.
No. You do you, I do me, and then we do it together.
There you go. I like that. See, that's mega. Mega, like we don't put constraints or restraints on one another, but we help and we assist one another, because it's so much more that we want to see advance. And so look, that's just one concept that she shared, y'all. And so you're going to have to come to the conference if you want to hear more. So the conference is also going to include information, whether she talked about kind of like not competing and collaborating. Like Dr. Marina, she's going to talk about generational wealth and our ability to tap in and access generational wealth. Her and I will be covering components or topics associated with that. We're going to talk about generational health. Like, look how literally you can transform your life and leave a legacy, even from a health standpoint. And then also on top of that, we have this Ask the Experts panel. And in that panel, it's going to be sharing more about just activating the creativity within one another. We have an intercessor, we have an entrepreneur, myself, I'm a consultant. You have a health and wellness coach. You have Dr. Marina, who's a master coach, y'all. Y'all don't want to miss Mega Women 2021. What you say, Samara?
I said you don't. You don't want to miss it. It took us 18 months to get back. You don't want to miss it. So, you know, everybody.
I like how it ended. You don't want to miss it. and I'm sure we should all say, no, we don't want to miss this. I'm so thankful tonight to have Pastor Mechelle. She is our host for Mega Women Austin. And as the saying goes, we save the best for last. Miss Rosita, I'm sorry, no translation, no, but the meeting is going to be in Espanol. On Mega Mujeres will be in Espanol on Saturday. So that's as much as my Spanish goes. But I'm just so thankful to have Pastor Mechelle with us. She's been part of the vision of Mega Women, and she just watched it grow. Her natural body language is excitement, and she's full of energy, and she just adds or complements what I do and how I do it. Well, before I get too carried away, let me tell you just a little bit about Pastor Mechelle. Pastor Mechelle is recognized as a woman who has the grace of God. She is a worshiper at heart. I have to include and a dancer, and delivers a message that provokes individuals to tap into the presence of God with the fullness of His glory, where the fullness of His glory exists. She speaks with passion and ministers with authority. I like those two words together. She has been married to her husband, Melvin, for over 23 years, and they both pastor Abiding Glory Tabernacle. I always switch it up. Abiding Glory Tabernacle in Austin, Texas. And if you've seen the post, that's where we're going to be at their church. And they have one granddaughter, Sharia,
daughter Sharia,
and two grandsons, Dante, and
Derry, and then Chrissy is our little granddaughter.
As you can tell, I didn't want to get it wrong, because they will say, that lady got my name wrong. So I'm glad you told them that. Before we get into anything, just tell them a little bit about yourself that I can't do justice to.
Oh my goodness. Well, so in terms of just my professional career, I worked for Dell for about 15 years. I retired at the age of 45. So my background experience has been in finance. That's been from my career path. Like, look, I just love serving God. Like I wouldn't have it any other way in terms of serving and living for Christ.
That is just so wonderful. And I love the fact that as we're going to find out, there's so much facets to you. You are currently on various boards. Can you tell us some of the boards that you are on?
Yes. I have the opportunity to serve on two particular boards as it stands today. One is a new entry, and it's located right here in the Central Texas in the Austin area. And they really serve individuals who have experienced, whether it's homelessness, whether they've experienced being incarcerated, experience is something associated with drugs. And the whole mission around a new entry is to allow individuals to recognize the life that they have within them.
Wow.
And so it's amazing work that a new entry does. And it's just such a blessing to see lives literally being changed and transformed. And when their lives are transformed, those same individuals, they go and they help transform the lives of others.
Praise God. Praise God.
If each one reach one, if we can recognize the talent within individual, you talk about this with the conference, right? It's a hidden treasure in an earthen vessel. And sometimes we miss out what that treasure is because of the outward appearance of an individual, what their background has been. And so new entry is able to see the treasure in individuals and cause that to unfold. And then I also sit on the advisory board of Hewlett-Tillotson University, which I'm excited about because I absolutely love just working with this next generation. They have so much talent, so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Such creativity, and some of them just don't know what to do with it. They haven't even identified it yet. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And from your bio, it seems like you've always worked. Let's talk about the entrepreneurship before we talk about the people that you invest in. It seems like you've always been a worker. What was the foundation of that?
It goes back to my youth, like literally. I
Yeah.
realize finance in this piece, it's a gift that I have. And when you recognize it's a gift, you just operate, or you just function in that. Even as a kid, I remember like my dad coming home with his check, and I had to be like maybe in third grade or something at the absolute most, right? And it was at that point, I would kind of delegate out that, okay, what's going on? Bills, what's going for our allowance, because like we had to get our allowance. Look, groceries, but it was really just allocating components and so forth out at a very, very young age, and that just continued to just build as I got older.
And so having to manage money as a child, and now as an adult, you help manage other people's money.
Look, it's a beauty in it. This is one of the pieces that I said at the conference 18 months ago, right? It's like, it's putting our money on a mission.
Yeah.
Right. The whole piece is so many individuals. It's not that individuals, they don't have enough income. People, they don't know where their money is going to.
Yeah.
Right. And that is one of the main issues I see as I work with individuals, is once they begin to understand where their money is going to, they're like, oh, I didn't want my money to go to that spot. So then you have the opportunity to refocus it and put it in the place where you want it to go. And just hearing the testimonies and just literally seeing the lives of individuals transformed as they put their money on a mission. And once you get your money on that mission, it releases stress. It releases all sorts of stuff that individuals are experiencing when they realize that they don't have to endure a financial hardship.
And I love that phrase, but make that practical. Give them examples of how they can put their money on a mission.
Yeah. And so I think one of the things I would start with is looking at your bank account and see where your money is going. Right. Yeah. And what a lot of people, they tend to see is they eat out more than they spend more eating out than what they actually think they do. Yeah. Right. They're like, oh, I just ran through the drive-through. I just grabbed my kids, a little Chick-fil-A. I just grabbed them a little Burger King. But when you're doing it 5 times a week or 4 times a week, it starts to add up, and you don't realize how much you're spending there. And so if you literally just pull out your checkbook and start looking at your checkbook, but go online, right? Just pull out your bank statement, right? Go to the app, and it's telling you where your money is going.
Yeah. And as you say, go to the app, the lovely thing now about technology with online banking, it can show you a pie chart of what you are actually spending on each month. Entertainment, grocery shopping, gas, the miscellaneous. Sometimes it can be happy or very sad.
Exactly. And what happens a lot of times, Mom, is they spend their money on the things they want versus the areas that they need. Yeah. Right. So they find themselves doing all of this entertainment. Then it's like, oh, my rent is due, or my loan payment is due, and I don't have enough money. Yeah, you had enough money. You just had it going in the wrong direction.
Good. Very good. Very good. And as we've learned, savings just sit there. You can sometimes, in the past few years, my savings account, it just depresses me at the end of the year when they show me how much interest I've gained, like $1.59 on what I put in as savings. So your savings just sits there. It doesn't acquire or increase as it really should. So you need to start researching, wouldn't you say?
Yes, you certainly do. And particularly if you look at the market right now, when I say the market, right, I'm talking about whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, there's so many different areas where you can move your money towards, because like savings, just like you were saying, it's not doing anything as it's right now. Nada. Look at your savings. If you have it in a savings account, that's it. It ain't on a mission. Like,
no.
Because it's not multiplying, right? and it's amazing because I even think about like the 5 talents, right? When he talked to the individuals, he said, the one who had 5, you took it and you multiplied it. The one who had 3, you took it and you multiplied it. But the one that had 1, it was like, look, he said, you took it and you hid it in the dirt. And he said, at the minimum, look, you could have gave it to individuals and I could have came back with a little bit more.
Yeah. Loan it and get interest on it.
Yes.
I like this. Pastor Stephanie has joined in. We need to put our money on a mission. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Absolutely. Another thing is because you talk about this. I know this is a passion of yours, putting your money on a mission, and it really goes into how you have helped the wayward, those that don't have any. They think they don't have any value. Yeah. How did that start for you?
It started, I guess I used to volunteer at this place called Foundation Communities. I love doing just like a lot of work in the community. And in Foundation Communities, they work with individuals that have lower amounts of income. Like, so when we grew up, like I didn't grow up in a family where we just like had everything going on, not at all. When he came to the U.S. from Jamaica, he had less than $40 in his pocket.
Yeah, right.
Yes, but it was just something about him when he came. He got a house, right? And so in that same house, he was able to pass it down to generations. Yeah, right? My brother has that house now.
Wonderful. Right?
And so it's reinvesting in those elements. And so because I came from a background where we didn't grow up with a whole lot, I recognized like, look, as I saw my dad starting to do something different, and as I got older, his whole status changed, right? In terms of what we were able to do because he was putting his money on a mission, right? So it's helping individuals get vision as to what your future can actually look like. And a lot of individuals who have grown up in, I guess, the lower income, they don't see themselves coming out of those situations or out of statuses. They think that they're always going to be there. But like, it's not designed for us, not as the children of God.
Right.
Not as the people of God. Like we serve El Shaddai, the one that does exceeding abundantly. Like, look, we talking infinity. We getting ready to go into mega. It's so much more that he has for us.
I love that because when I read your background in your bio, I have a similar background as a teenager. Before teenager, it was my job to go and deposit the mortgage money at the bank. The one job I had on a Saturday morning, and had to be in the line by 12 o'clock. And young people, we are, just in time. And Monday morning was school, so I had no options. I had to be there. Let's pull on the sprinter, walk so fast. But it's that childhood, and even if you didn't have it as that example as a parent to a child, you now have it in your spiritual parents who speak over you. And so you know the art of speaking over those that are down and out and see them bud.
Yes. And it's amazing because sometimes when you speak, you're speaking to the spirit within an individual, right? And when you speak to that spirit, man, it awakens and it starts to come alive, and you allow them to see themselves in the same light that the Father sees them in. Yeah. And that's what happens is until individuals are able to see themselves the way God sees themselves, they'll think that they always have to live in the situation, in the state that they're in. But like, look, when you tap into the economy of God, you tap into a whole nother realm.
Yeah. And let's talk about tapping into the economy of God, because clearly not only you've seen that, but members of your church have seen that. And so what was the entry into that?
Oh my goodness. Look, I love that you asked that. It's the one piece, like, look, if you don't do tithes, you can just count yourself out automatically. Like, you're not going to get into that piece. But when you want to walk into that glory piece, it's like you need to learn how to observe the feast. Like, there are set times associated with the year that God calls us to bring a special offering, because literally it's a portal that gets open, right? And when you tap into that realm of the portal with the feast time, oh my goodness. And it's 3 major feasts, right, that he requires for us, right? So it's Passover, it's Tabernacle, and it's Pentecost. You get in on those, and like, look, at that point, you just start soaring in the glory. Right?
I like the way you did that, soaring in the glory. Don't let's get into egos. But so Pastor Mechelle, right? So many leaders today, and I'm thinking across the board. I'm not even going denomination. I'm thinking across the board. Do not understand the feast because it's not taught in Bible schools, right? They're taught the 7 factors of the Bible, and we have learned the 8 factors through our apostle, Dr. Rainey. But as a leader, I'm sure that when you started to teach it, this is to help leaders. When you started to teach this, what made you grab a hold of it?
We saw it in operation, right? We saw the testimonies just coming forth, not just in our life and in the ministry, but in the lives of the individuals within the ministry, right? They was just testifying, right? And they were able to tie back to a seed that they planted, right? And to be able to see the harvest. And so you couldn't deny it.
Right.
You couldn't deny it.
And one of the testimonies that comes to mind is when I was there, Pamela Brooks.
Yes.
And she came, but you will correct me. I'll start the testimony. You take it over.
Okay.
She needed money for her rent, but she said it was not enough. So I might as well just tithe it. What opened up for her? She just wanted to.
It's literally when she tithed or when she sold into the feast during that time, it was an opportunity opened up where she got more than $50,000.
Yeah.
Like, look, her testimony is continuing to unfold.
Yes, if you follow her on Facebook, yes,
it's continuing to go, right? You're seeing an individual, they're building a school for her. They're building literally an academy as well as a gym for her, right? We have another one that's a mother within our church or so forth, where individuals, they built a house for her. They custom built a house for her. Yes.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God.
But you know what the key is because the money doesn't have a hold on us. Right. When you realize that God is blessing you, not for you to hold it and pour it upon yourself, but like, look, you get components of it, because when water runs through the pipe gets wet. So you get to enjoy the benefits of it. But what he's given it to us for is for the advancement of the kingdom and for the advancement of his cause.
And when she came to the conference, she had just launched an app.
Yes.
Right? She was thinking about a school, trampoline school, but she just launched the app. And it just springboarded into something else. Those of you that are watching, Mega Women does this. You start with one thing and there is a quantum leap into something else. It's part of the RMM family. We're just concentrating it to women because we understand that we are a hidden economy. And I just love that it's only been 3 years that we've been doing this, and the testimonies are standing as evidence that this works. Pastor Mechelle, we've just got a few more minutes. Really, really quickly. And one of the concepts that you talk about is making money and managing wealth. Explain that.
Yes. And so it is. When you think of the core difference between making money, individuals, you make money on your job. Right. But that money that you make, it doesn't put you, I'm gonna just give you a small tip on this kind of this road to wealth. Right. And so in terms of making wealth, wealth is not just the financials. It's not just the money. Like when you tap into wealth, it means that you tap into assets, right? You tap into individuals understanding your value and what you bring to the table. Sometimes when you just make money, people not always trying to align with individuals who are just making money, because a lot of times with that, you're going through the motions. But when you tap into wealth, like, look, we get calls sometimes. We got calls a couple of years ago from a major investor in the Georgetown area, and we don't even know how they determined what our status was, but he was reaching out to individuals that hit a particular status because he wanted them to invest in some activities that he was doing. And so when you tap into this wealth component, people start looking to you because they recognize that you are a resource that can help them get to where they want to be.
I've got to come back on screen. I'm doing my brows. I'm praising on screen. I've got to come back on screen. I really wanted you to emphasize that, and you did, because we have to. The word I use is position ourselves.
Yes.
And in your case, position yourself so that you can be found.
Yes.
Isn't that brilliant? You've got to start positioning yourself. I know just this year, all the other years, but just this year, we're only in the 4th month, entering into the 5th month. I'm around a circle of people that I've never been, because I invested in my future.
Yes.
So I positioned myself. And I pray that that's what you will do right here in Mega Women. You'll get around these women. Some are really expert entrepreneurs, and some are young entrepreneurs, that we will teach you how to position yourself. Don't look at the friends that you have now, because as you increase, that will change. It's in the words of, what's the guy's name? It's inevitable. It's inevitable. But yeah, no, we'll come back to me afterwards. Thanos, thank you, Holy Ghost. There you go, Thanos. It's inevitable. But we are iron women. Anyway, so let's, Pastor Mechelle, in this few moments that we have left, I love it, ladies. Thank you. Resource, thank you. In these few moments that we have left, what would you encourage or say to get women to do that, to make that final decision to register? The only way they can register now is virtually, but what would you say to encourage them to make that final decision for Mega Women? There might be some sitting on the fence. I don't know why.
I don't know either. I think my final message to individuals, if you have not registered yet, one of the pieces that Dr. Marina just recently talked about is surrounding yourself, not with just individuals that you know. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Right. And when you get out of your comfort zone, what you'll discover is that you'll begin to align yourself with other individuals that are going to help propel you to the place which you're trying to go to. A lot of individuals can't get to the place in which they're trying to go to because they remain surrounded in those areas in which they feel comfortable in. What you are comfortable in will not expand you. It will not increase you. It will not allow you to be leveraged for the advancement of the kingdom and the advancement of his cause, or no matter what it is. When you want to do something different, you have to start breaking out of that comfort area. You got to start pushing the boxes and moving yourself around so that individuals will recognize the gifting and the talent that's in you, that we can help unlock that piece. Like, look.
Once again, I'm totally enjoying it, putting things up on the screen, not realizing she's about to finish. People, we want to thank you for joining us. We want to thank you for watching all over. Again, there's no at the door registration, and I'm glad to say we've got a really good number of virtual, and they have received their mega swag bag. There's some that register today, it's not going to get to them in time, but they will get the link to watch. We've got so much fun to have over this weekend that we just pray that you will just grab your lunch, have it in one place so you don't have to go too far. If you got to go to the restroom, we do have restroom breaks assigned. just to be fair. But we hope that you make this Saturday a day to be with us. It's guaranteed to change your life. Oh, Mr. Welling, she says, I got my swag bag. Yay!
Look, and it's a blessing. You're going to get to meet Dwella. She's actually going to be ministering and dance at the conference too.
Oh, wow, nice.
Powerhouse, a worshiper.
Okay, lovely. And so those of you that have your swag bags that are virtual, you've got a little extra in it. And then those that are attending, however, you know us, those that are attending, we will bring stuff for you because Pastor Mechelle has been your intercessor. She has interceded on your behalf. I just love you all. So everyone, we get ready to see you on Saturday. And those of you that are not subscribers to RMMTV, please go and subscribe today. There's so much new resources. There's 2 major new shows, My Mega Mindset and Dr. Rennie's Infinity, and as well as the I Will Pray that we have on there just for our subscribers. So still growing, still participating. Enjoy. Pastor Mechelle, wave bye.
Bye. Hold on, no, come on, hold on, let me see, hold on. Wait a minute, it's still live.